Okay, everybody, now we've moved on to doing the installation on our Teardrop camper here, and I want to show you on our last installation job the steps that I went about for applying the installation. So we're down to the last square. I got some wires running through here. I come along with my tape measure and I measure the width, 10 inches, and the length, 19 and a half. And we're going to move on over to our installation, and I'm going to show you how we cut that and then bring you back and install over here. Just give you a little once over. That's what our installation job has looked like. Everything is nice and tight, looking good. It's took me about probably 2 or 3 hours of effort to get all this installation in, but man, look at all this. It has snowed everywhere, all over my shop, all over my camper, and all over me. I'm just covering this stuff, and I have to keep turning on the vacuum and vacuuming it up as I work. But we got 2-inch insulation here. I got it over at Lowe's, and I bought 2 sheets of it for this job. Now I've laid out my triangle for those same dimensions that we just took. I take a razor blade and I just score the top of the foam here, so that I can take my jigsaw and come back and cut this out. I've tried using just an X-Acto knife just to do the cutting, and it's a lot easier if you just use the jigsaw to do the cut rather than try to cut it with some other tool. Move this on over out of the way. Pull this off the edge so that I don't cut my workbench. Nice and straight. Okay, we'll go back over here and bring your X-Acto knife. You're going to need this while you're doing your install. And the reason is we have to cut a little groove for those wires to travel. And I'm just going to set you over here. Hopefully you can see those wires right there. Okay, there you go. Now what I do is I just bring my insulation tile over here, find out where my wires are going to be coming out and hitting my insulation, and just make a little mark. And then on this side, same type of thing. Kind of get an idea of about where it's at. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want it definitely to be in that channel. Flip it over, and just kind of draw a line along where those wires would travel. Now I don't have to do that so much on these little wires. So if you're dealing with 110 being that it's a thicker cord, you're definitely going to need to cut a channel. But where it's coming out of the boards at, you're definitely at least cut a notch so that it misses styrofoam and you can pop your styrofoam in. And then I can just make a little sideways cut. Try to do all that. And then take your knife and kind of rake all that out of there. And you have a nice little channel for your wires to travel. Turn that over, pop that right on in. Nice and tight. All right, everything is sealed up. And that's how we did our installation. that was the last one for this job, for this camper. And I'll show you the front. There's the front of the camper. Now, one other thing, whenever you're turning these tight radiuses, like right in here, the styrofoam is just not going to bend and make that radius. So what you have to do is you have to come set your table saw up and then take a couple of strips out of the insulation on the table saw. Then it'll close together and then make that radius. So I had to cut a radius along this profile and this profile, and I made one cut on this one, but the rest of them I didn't have to make a cut on any of the others. Just these three mostly. All right, since that's it for the installation, we're going to move on to doing cedar strips. I got a whole pile of western red cedar down there. It's the same species that we did the outside of the cabin with. And we're going to cut our strips and we're going to run them this way. And we're going to do that with Bead and Cove. So we're going to bring you back and show you some of that. And after that, we do fiberglass and the job's done. So we're getting close. Okay, welcome back. Right now we're in the middle of hours of running Bead and Cove. So this is our raw strips that we stripped down on the table saw, 1/4 inch wide. I got my bead bit in the table saw right now. Now, when we were stripping down these boards, we get F grade lumber, so face grade. That means one side of the board is nice and smooth, the other side of the board is rough. It hasn't been planed down. So that rough part that is on this edge right here from that non-planed board, we've been running that through and putting a bead on that end. So if you look right here on this board where I've run the bead, it takes that rough part right off there, so you don't have to worry about having that rough edge anymore. Now on the other edge, I got nice sharp edges, so I'll run my Cove bit right down through there, so I'll leave those nice sharp edges, and then we'll be able to run that bead, and then that should lock right into that Cove. So we're going to keep pressing forward. We've got about 300 strips for this roof, so I needed 190 inches. We're going to run these 300 strips, 1/4 inch a piece. After the bead and the Cove have locked in, we're going to lose some space. We're going to see where we're at. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully I can get far enough along to see if I've got enough bead and Cove. I might have to run back to the store and get another board to make up the difference. So we're pressed for the running out of daylight, running up against the clock on time for Michelle to ring the dinner bell. So we are going to try to get as far as we can, and we're heading into the weekend, and we're going to be coming back and we'll be putting this Bead and Cove over the outside edge of our camper, and we'll be working on fiberglass really soon. So hope you've enjoyed so far. Hit the like button, subscribe if this is your first time with us, and check out some of our other videos and keep following us along.